Yes, so as you heard, I am the mother of two. I'm actually a stay-at-home mom, which is a pretty traditional role. Yeah, woo! Those are my other stay-at-home mom friends. So I thought that maybe in light of the theme tonight, I would give you a little bit of where I come from. And I've called this a snapshot of my childhood home. My parents, my three older sisters, Karen, Jenny, and Abby, and my older brother, Max, and I, all lived in a narrow duplex in Squirrel Hill, Pittsburgh, along with our two dogs, one cat who kept having kittens and peed everywhere, another cat who hated all of us, and the occasional hermit crab. We had wall-to-wall carpeting and a vacuum cleaner that was used more as a microphone for the band that my brother and I had formed than for actual cleaning. My mother smoked 3 packs of cigarettes a day, all day, every day. She smoked at the dinner table, she smoked in bed, she smoked in the shower. She was offended when she was asked to maybe not smoke at her nephew's bris. The chaos of 5 children, 4 pets, and 2 working parents, all encapsulated in a tornado of cigarette smoke. That was my house. My mother hung a sign over the archway from the living room to the kitchen that read, "I'm sick of living unpretentiously." The first thing you'd see when you walked in through our front door was a giant chocolate brown faux suede circular couch. It was a 3-piece sectional. It took up the whole room, encircling our marble, non-working gas fireplace. Above the mantel, my mother hung a giant navy blue kite, onto which was sewn a palm tree and a flamingo standing on one leg, greeting all those who entered. On the mantel itself was a collection of plush flamingos and glass flamingo figurines. On either side of the fireplace were plastic lawn ornament flamingos. The theme of this room was flamingos. But these were not to be outdone by the collection of feathered masks that hung on the wall, alongside the 2 dolls in trench coats, 1 male, 1 female. They were my mother's prized flasher dolls. If you opened the trench coats of these dolls, you could gaze fully at their plush his and her anatomy. I thought this room was beautiful. We weren't meant to play in it or to do our homework in it. It was tastefully appointed for special occasions. So it was no surprise that when my father, a political science professor, was being interviewed by the local news for his take on that night's Reagan-Mondale debates, they chose that room to do the interview. They wanted to get his real-time reactions to the debate, sort of like live tweeting, but in 1984. So they planned on getting footage of all of us, my sisters, my brothers, and me, all around the TV with my parents, wrapped by the 2 candidates for president, while my father gave his off-the-cuff analysis. But we didn't have a TV in that room. So we had to bring down the TV from my parents' bedroom. The black and white with the broken antenna that my father had secured together with a pair of old pantyhose. The newsman tilted his head and asked if maybe we had another TV in the house. The only other TV was in the basement, but it was ensnared in a mass of those newfangled cable cords and was rendered immovable. So instead, they focused their cameras on my father while he sat on the round couch sharing his informed views and insights with Channel 2 News. The flasher doll was hanging on the wall behind him. My mother gleefully kept to herself the fact that its trench coat was partially unbuttoned, and its little doll penis was dangling above my dad's head. When we watched the news that night, every close-up of my father was from his eyebrows down. The room next to that was the family room. This room also had a theme. On the shelf above the radiator and on the radiator itself, you'd find ceramic pigs, plush toy pigs, metal pigs, piggy banks, flying pigs, even a pig with Richard Nixon's face on it. The framed headline from the 1974 Pittsburgh Post-Gazette, "Nixon resigns," hung above my dad's easy chair. My dad sat in that chair every night to read his newspaper, though he would occasionally be unpleasantly surprised by a puddle of pee our cat Schnookers left in the deep wells of the button-tufted seat. He'd yell for one of us to clean it up as he charged upstairs to change his cat pee-soaked pants. It was never anyone's turn to clean it up because someone had always cleaned it up the last time. So that always resulted in us arguing over whose turn it was to clean it up, and my dad barreling down the stairs saying, "Someone better clean it up, goddammit!" And then usually Karen or Jenny had to clean it up because they were the oldest, but it wasn't really fair because Jenny didn't even like cats, and hadn't I been sitting in the living room the whole time and didn't I see the pee? Maybe I had, but it wasn't my turn to clean it up. The kitchen was where we sat down as a family to eat dinner and to share about our day and to keep our goddamn hands to ourselves. I sat between Max and Abby on a bench against the wall across from Jenny and Karen. And if I had to get up to get something, no one would move out of my way. And I was always told to crawl under. So I'd pass the dog under the table and Jenny would begrudgingly move her legs out of the way to clear my exit. Our dinners were peppered with spirited conversations like, "Can I have the corn?" "I don't know, can you?" "May I have the corn?" Abby would correct. "That's stupid," Jenny would say. "Do you say, may you shut the fuck up?" "Watch your mouth." "Yeah, watch your mouth," my mother would agree. And you would say, "Will you shut the fuck up?" She'd rest her cigarette on the ashtray in front of her while she picked the steak off of our plates, because steak off of someone else's plate always has less calories. And my father would demand we send all of our scraps down to his end of the table when we were finished eating. "There's perfectly good meat on that bone." He had also been known to nibble the meat directly off the turkey carcass at Thanksgiving. Pick up the whole carcass and nibble it. He did not like to waste. Most food was perfectly good, and cheese is mold. All 7 of us lived in this house together. Between its yellowed walls, we argued and laughed, and we had dance contests and epic boggle tournaments. We watched movies in our basement, like Porky's. And Porky's 2. And we swore at each other, and at the TV, and at the radio, and at the automated weather lady on the phone. I mean, she was a pussy-ass bitch. Some kids were not allowed to play at our house. But they were missing out, because within the smoke and the pet dander and the plastic flamingos, we were having fun. We were a filthy, foul-mouthed circus. And we were definitely unpretentious. Thank you.